My name is Declan Alton, so I'm delighted to be here this morning on behalf of EMC. So before talking about the Equipment for Schools programme, I'd like to give you a 60-second elevator pitch on the EMC Ireland Centre of Excellence, or the COE. So last year, after 22 years of successful growth and maturity, the EMC Ireland campus was awarded Centre of Excellence status, one of only six worldwide. So we employ a diverse workforce of approximately 2,000 employees. We're supporting 28 different business functions on a campus exceeding 600,000 square feet. We've been voted best places to work for two consecutive years. So our mission is to help EMC's global customers on a successful journey to cloud computing. So I think you'll see from the presentation that the genesis, the catalyst for the Equipment for Schools programme was indeed innovation, collaboration, and also partnership. So the idea itself was an idea by one of our EMC Ireland COE employees to our 2010 Innovation Conference. So the EMC Innovation Conference, it's an annual EMC global event to highlight employee talent and to highlight innovative ideas. So what was the idea? So the idea essentially was to donate EMC technical testing equipment supported by EMC engineering volunteering into schools, secondary schools, to encourage students to consider science, technology, engineering and maths, again known as STEM, as basically options for their future. So where was the, where is the innovation in this? So I think the innovation is that there was no obvious demand for this, unlike, for example, requests for desktop and laptop computers. So we saw the opportunity to position equipment into secondary schools, which in all probability teachers and students would never get to see or to use, but which are pervasive within the high-tech electronics manufacturing sector. Okay, so the challenge, so there's a number of challenges associated with this program. So the first is obviously to make it impactful and to make it useful for teachers and for students. So I think the key to this is the skills donation. So again, there's an opportunity for EMC engineers and EMC technologists to work with teachers in a very structured and a very focused way. And I think the second challenge around this was around making it scalable. And as I'll talk about later on, that's where the partnership is very important. Okay. So with any equipment donation scheme or program, the end-of-life disposal issues has to be taken into account. So again, EMC again takes our responsibility for electronic waste or e-waste very seriously. So one of the key, one of the key objectives for this program is a cradle-to-grave approach, where basically we need to ensure that our donation partners need to have the capability to ethically dispose of the equipment when they're finished using it. Alternatively, EMC offers to take the equipment back and dispose of it ethically. Okay. So one of the other objectives of the of this initiative is basically again reuse before recycling. So the reuse before recycling of this type of technical equipment, it's got two advantages. So the first is the social advantage. So essentially we're encouraging STEM education, and we're building up STEM infrastructure within secondary schools. And the second benefit then is basically extending the actual useful life of this type of equipment beyond its normal sort of industrial life cycle. And I suppose the other important comment then is that this is based on an ethical sort of donation model. So as part of the roadmap, we've essentially built out a legal and an environmental framework, again, which protects all parties involved. It addresses any sort of end-of-life data protection or sort of reputational risk issues. Okay. So again, with sustainability, partnering with and working with peer organisations, peer companies, NGOs, industrial bodies, educational institutions, again, is very, very important. So with this particular programme, we basically partnered with the Cork Institute of Technology through their Science for Life programme. So what we did was we basically developed a pilot program with CIT. So the pilot basically involved fitting out 2 schools within the Cork area. So those 2 schools were selected specifically because of low penetration rates, for second level science study. So we're at this stage of the process, we've completed the fit out of one of those schools. So in terms of some of the equipment we're talking about, basic equipment like multimeters, oscilloscopes, data sort of analyzers, that type of equipment. So once we've actually rolled out the pilot, I suppose the next phase of that is that we hope to work with CIT to roll out this program to other multinationals. Basically encouraging them to basically donate any redundant equipment to secondary schools and give it a second life as a STEM educational resource. So I'd like to finish up with, so this is a quote from Dr. Sharon Lawton. Sharon is the CIT Science for Life officer. So you can read it there yourselves. I think the last sentence is, again, I think it's sort of a fantastic statement. It is also beneficial for the morale of students in schools to be involved with a company such as EMC, because it enables students to believe that nothing is impossible and inspires students to dream of what they can achieve. Again, I think it's a fantastic quote. Again, as part of this, one of the other, I suppose, dimensions of this program is basically it's our student and teacher visits to EMC and other potential companies who may get involved in this particular activity. Thank you.